The Lok Sabha has passed Women Reservation Bill 2023, also known as Nari Shakti Vandan Abhiniyam 2023. Let's have a look at the historical background of Women Reservation Bill as well as some important facts related to women representation in our country. The issue of women reservation dates back to pre-independence time. In 1931, 3 women bodies sent letter to British Prime Minister seeking women reservation. Then in Constituent Assembly, the issue of women reservation was raised. However, it was rejected there. Then in 1977, a committee was set up, Committee on the Status of Women, and in 1988, Perspective Plan on Women came, the National Perspective Plan. Both of these committees recommended women reservation in Parliament and state legislatures. Based on their recommendation, reservation was provided in local bodies through 73rd and 74th Constitutional Amendment. So in Panchayati Raj system, women have 33% reservation. For women reservation in state legislature and parliament, first bill was introduced in 1996 as 81st Constitutional Amendment Bill by Deve Gowda government. It was reintroduced in 1999 by the NDA government, then twice in 2003. In 2004, UPA government tried to include the bill in its common minimum program, but it lapsed. This bill was later reintroduced as 108th Constitutional Amendment Bill in 2008. It was passed in Rajya Sabha in 2010 but lapsed in the Lok Sabha. Now the bill has been reintroduced as 128th Constitutional Amendment Bill. Lok Sabha has already passed it. This bill will now go to Rajya Sabha. Let's have a look at the key provisions of this bill. The bill reserves 1/3 of all seats for women in Lok Sabha, state legislative assemblies and the state legislative assembly of the National Capital Territory of Delhi. So both in the Lok Sabha and state legislative assembly, 33% seats will be reserved for women, and this will also extend to the seats reserved for SCs and STs in the Lok Sabha and state legislative assemblies. For this, 2 new articles will be introduced, Article 330A and 332A, which will bring change in Lok Sabha and assemblies respectively. But this quota will not apply to the Rajya Sabha or state legislative council. So no reservation in Rajya Sabha or state legislative councils. The reservation will be effective once the census is conducted after the commencement of this bill has been published. So mostly all the provisions of this women reservation bill are similar to the 108th Constitutional Amendment Bill, but the key difference is that it has based the commencement of women reservation on the conduct of census and delimitation. So once census is done, then delimitation will be undertaken, then only reservation of seats for women will become effective. What is this delimitation? So after every census, the process of delimitation is taken. Delimitation Commission is a quasi-judicial body which determines the boundary of constituencies and number of seats for both state legislative bodies as well as national parliament. The decision of this delimitation body is final. The 42nd Amendment froze the delimitation exercise until the results of the first census after 2000 was published, and this was again extended for 25 years through 84th Amendment Act in 2001. So delimitation is frozen till 2026. The last census happened in 2011. It was to be held again in 2021, but because of the COVID, it could not happen. So next census will start, and after the census, delimitation will taken up. So most probably this reservation will become effective in 2029, not earlier than 2029. And since delimitation is a precondition for the implementation of reservation, for this Article 82 and Article 170 of Clause 3 of the Constitution will be amended. Article 82 provides for the readjustment of the constituencies for both Lok Sabha and state assemblies after every census. So Delimitation Commission derives its power from Article 82, and Article 170 Clause 3 deals with the composition of the Legislative Assembly. Just like the old bill, this bill also has a sunset clause, means the reservation will be provided for a period of 15 years, but it shall continue till such date as determined by a law made by Parliament. So it's not yet clear. The details will come on later on. There will be rotation of seats. Seats will be reserved for women such that one seat is reserved only once it is not made clear how the seats will be chosen. Maybe lots will be drawn after delimitation. Now, how the bill will be passed, since it's a constitutional amendment bill in which the composition of state legislative assembly also change. So, it needs to be passed by both the house with special majority. This special majority means a majority of the total members of each house plus a majority of 2/3 of the house present and voting, and it need to be ratified by at least half of the state assemblies because it affects the federal feature of the constitution. What is the status of reservation of women in Panchayati Raj? Article 243D, which was inserted by the 73rd Amendment Act 1992, it provides for reservation of seats for SCs and STs and women in panchayats. It provides not less than 1/3 of the total number of seats reserved for SCs and STs shall be reserved for women. So, reservation within reservation is there in SC, ST. According to government data, percentage of women elected representatives in PRI was more than 50% in at least 18 states. Highest proportion of women representative was in Uttarakhand, lowest was in UP. Overall, there were 45.61% women representatives in Panchayati Raj institutions in the country. If we talk about the status of women reservation in India, the present Lok Sabha has a total of 542 members, out of which 78 are female members. National average is 8% women in state legislature nationwide. Among state assemblies, West Bengal has the highest number of women representatives. Out of 294 MLAs, 34 are women. Out of 243 MLAs, 34 are women in Bihar, and out of 294, 34 in Andhra Pradesh are women. So these states have the maximum number of women MLAs, followed by Uttar Pradesh with 32 women out of 403, so percentage wise it's very low. Rajasthan has 28 women out of 200 MLAs. In Gujarat, in its 182 member parliament, just 8% of the candidates were women. While in Himachal Pradesh, where women make up 1 in every 2 voters, 67 males have been elected and only 1 woman. According to survey of the Inter-Parliamentary Union, India is ranked 144th out of 193 nations in terms of the representation of women in parliament. It is believed that the passage of will dramatically affect the women representation at the state level. However, there were some oppositions also. Earlier the bill could not be passed because there was no OBC reservation, and this bill also do not talk about any separate OBC reservation. The bill provides separate reservation to scheduled caste and scheduled tribes women within the existing quotas of 1/3 reservation of seats. However, OBC women, which constitute 60% of women population, have not been provided separate reservation within the quota. There is no reservation in the Rajya Sabha and Legislative Council, and the reservation for women in parliament depends on the census and delimitation process. Then there is also issue of using women as proxies, as we have seen at panchayat level, where the wives are used as proxy candidates for reserved seats. What are your views regarding women reservation bill? Let me know in the comment section, and for more such videos subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching.